Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Inside the U postgame show. The number 6 Miami Hurricanes improved to 33-12 with a 22-0 win over North Dakota State, who falls to 25-14. A lot of big performances in this one. We will get to some Zoom postgame comments from Gino DiMare, as well as the players. The big player, a couple big guys tonight stood out for the Hurricanes. Jacob Burke, two home runs, 8 RBIs. He had 2 3-run shots. 8 RBIs is the most RBIs for a Hurricane since David Thompson had 9 in 2015. So a huge performance by him. Also, Ariel Garcia quietly had 2 home runs in this one. There's a lot I want to get into with him because I think it's very interesting with what's going on at second base now that Dorian Gonzalez is back. He played in his first game tonight since April 6th. So we will get into that in this as well. Definitely drop in the comments below. Let me know some things you'd like to talk about with either this game or the team with where they are at in the season. Carson Palmquist improves to 7-3, 6 scoreless innings, only allows 3 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. He's pitching very well these last 3 starts. Good to see out of his performance there from your top pitcher. First win of the season since April 8th. So good to see from Carson tonight. I thought he did well, but certainly the story is the offense. Season high, 22 runs, 21 hits, also a season high. So Miami gets 22 hits, 21 hits, 1 error, only 10 left on base. North Dakota State, no runs, 3 hits, 3 errors, 4 left on. North Dakota State was just out of the game early on. Miami gets 6 runs in the first inning. You know, obviously a lot of runs were scored after that, but I thought Gabby Gutierrez, 2-run single with 2 outs to make it 5-0 in the first was certainly a big performance early on in the game. Like I said, grand scheme of things, it didn't really matter with how many runs Miami scored, but just in that moment, I thought it was good that Gabby delivered there from the 9th spot as Miami sent 11 batters to the plate in the first inning. They get the 6 runs. Certainly good to see from this offense. Miami's now won back-to-back games after that season-long 4-game losing streak. And I know one of the questions that I saw on the message boards during the live game thread on InsideTheU.com was, is North Dakota State any good? Look, this is a team that's in the lead of the Summit League. This is a team that's projected to make the NCAA tournament. They've had a rough season in terms of playing almost all of their games on the road this year. They've only had 1 home game, and it was this week. I know that sounds crazy. They've had a crazy schedule. Most of their games have been on the road. They've had 6 neutral games. So even with that, this is a team that's certainly been better than what they showed tonight. I thought this was a good win for Miami. We will see how the rest of the weekend goes, but certainly a good performance tonight. A lot of guys, swung the bat well, touching on Ariel Garcia and Jacob Burke, but certainly other guys also. As you see the stats, Yo-Yo Morales, the 4 hits, the 2 RBIs, had a double. Also, I do want to mention Jacob Burke had 2 doubles as well as the 2 home runs. So obviously, huge game from him. Max Romero, 3 base hits to start it. His fourth plate appearance, he draws a walk. So that was good to see that he continues to hit. 8-game hitting streak for Romero. That's exactly what you want from the 4th spot. And Yo-Yo Morales, in that 3 spot gets the hits as well. CJ Kafis, a couple hits as well. He's hitting the ball, and Gabby Gutierrez in the 9th spot also gets a couple hits. So a lot of guys up and down the lineup get hits tonight. And there was an interesting thing late in the game that they bring Jake Garland in to pitch the final 3 innings. He pitched well, did not allow a hit, struck out 4. He's been a starter in the midweek all season long for the most part. But Miami did not have a midweek game this week, so they get him in on the Friday. I thought it was interesting that they did not save him for the next 2 games because you don't know exactly if you're going to need a quality pitcher out of the bullpen. So I thought that was an interesting move with the lead well in hand. So in this video, in this postgame show, once again, Gino DiMare will speak. We'll go to the Zoom press conference with him as well as players. I assume Jacob Burke's going to be one of those guys. It'll be great to hear his thoughts. Also, I want to show you guys highlights of the game. A lot of runs were scored. I have most of the runs in the highlight package that I put together. So definitely stay tuned to that in case you did not get a chance to see the game. I will post that. Also, as soon as the Zooms are over with, I'm going to share a personal story that I have with North Dakota State, kind of a tie there that I'd like to get into as well. want to shout out to everybody that's following along. We've not done a post-game show in a while, so definitely appreciate you for being here. Or if you're watching it the day after or whenever you might be watching this, definitely appreciate you taking the time to do this. I think what's interesting with the Hurricanes in general with where they sit, again, D1 baseball, the latest NCAA projections has Miami as the number 5 national seed, which is great moving on to super regional play, but that means Miami's going to host. So they have them projecting to host the Coral Gables regional. And the last few projections that I've seen, something to pay attention to, is Florida is projected to be in Miami's regional. So if you're looking ahead, you're curious how things might work out for the NCAA tournament, which doesn't start for a few weeks, that's something to pay attention to. Miami obviously played Florida earlier this year. Other things to get into with this game, what was interesting was Miami put up at least 3 runs in each of the first 5 innings. As you can see, that's how they got 21 runs. The 17 was the previous season high. They had done that twice this year. 19 hits was the previous high as well. Like I mentioned, season high in runs, season high in hits. Great to see up and down the lineup. I want to show you guys a little bit, some other things on the stats here. The runners in scoring position, again, when you have 21 hits, you're going to have guys performing well in a lot of categories. Runners in scoring position, they go 11 to 25. Obviously, that's good. Also, 2 outs. They did well there also, going 4 of 12. Those are good numbers. Those are numbers that Miami has struggled with. The other thing I noticed, Miami did not strike out very much tonight, which was a good sign. They actually drew more walks than strikeouts. And when I talked to Gino DiMare earlier this week, and if you haven't seen it, there's an article on the website that I posted. Also, I have some more comments that I'm working on putting together with the video that I plan on publishing on Monday. So if you guys are looking for the channel, if you want to see some video of the Hurricanes in action during practice, maybe what it looks like at a Miami baseball practice, I'm going to give you guys that. The plan is on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Also, just real quick before I forget, I do want to mention, if you're here, I want to let you know that you're a huge fan of the channel, obviously, if you're here now. But also, I'm going to have an insight video posted tomorrow about Norchad Omier, the basketball transfer that I've not put together yet. So that will be posted tomorrow as well. Just getting back to the game here. We are still waiting for coach to talk, still waiting for players to talk. Like I mentioned, I expect Jacob Burke to talk. Just a huge performance. And, he was hitting the ball all over the field. He goes left field on the home runs, the double late there, driving the ball to the middle of the field as well. So I think that's a good sign. You're looking for that guy in the middle of the order there batting 5th, and I think that's a really important spot for Miami down the stretch. And that's where he's been most of this season. Gino DiMare likes this right, left, right, kind of that 3-4-5 with Morales, Romero, and Burke. So all 3 of those guys perform well tonight. As you can see, they combined for 11 hits just for the 3 of them. So that was good. And all the starters came out there in the top of the 6th. They started making some changes, but we got some movement here. So let me get started, make sure we get the Zoom calls lined up here. Just give me 1 second as it's opening up. We might be starting shortly. Drop in the comments below if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer or some topics. Maybe I'll try to get to those if I can.
Recording in progress.
Burke, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Burke, if you can just lower the camera, please, just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. We have Miami Hurricanes outfielder Jacob Burke has the most RBIs by a Hurricane in a game in 7 years. If you have a question for Jacob, please use the hand raise function. We will start with Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris?
Yeah, Jacob, obviously a big night for the team, but you personally, just what was this like for you? The home runs, the doubles, the RBIs, the whole thing. What was this like for you?
Well, today we did a lot of work and early work of just getting back to the fundamentals and getting back to what made us successful throughout the year to this point. And credit to the guys in front of me in the lineup, CJ. I think everybody might have got on before me, and hitting is contagious. And so I just got up there and tried to see something up. Usually, I'm pretty sure every time I was up today, there was a runner on third or at least a runner in scoring position. So I was just trying to get a good pitch and get something to drive and add to the scoring.
And just you said you guys have been working on some things. I mean, just how good was it to see so many guys had big nights tonight, and essentially, the work that you guys have been putting in paid off tonight.
Well, we come out every day, working hard and just trying to get better every day. And I think that this was just, everybody was clicking on all cylinders tonight. I think, of course, you're not going to score 20 runs every game, but I think that this offense has that potential to come out and put up big numbers like that. I know we have a lot of games this season, the double digits, and it seems like when we just we don't try to do too much and we just focus on the fundamentals and keep our feet locked in the ground and just try to just produce runs and not try to do too much and do what's best for the team, it usually works out pretty well.
Next, we'll go to Wyatt Kopelman from the Miami Hurricane. Wyatt?
Hey, Jacob. Congratulations on the win. Between you and Ariel Garcia tonight, 12 RBIs, a really, really dominant performance from you, but also him this last week, dating back to the Georgia Tech series. How gratifying, how rewarding is it to be able to see him set a tone in the lineup and really start to produce for you guys late in the season?
Ariel's a great player, and he's doing what any young guy should do. He's taking advantage of his opportunities. He's a guy that comes with a great attitude and just a really hard worker at practice every day. And I'm really glad to see him take advantage of these opportunities and have some success. I think nobody's really shocked. He's a really great player, and I think he's going to be a big part of the future of this program.
And then you guys also had Carson Palmquist back on the mound, but Jake Garland in relief for the first time in a long time tonight. The guys continued to retire batters here in and here out going into the late innings. How important was that for you guys against a team you all never faced and never seen that lineup?
I think that the pitchers did a great job tonight. I feel like this was one of the games this season that we were able to put all three together, like Gino says, the hitting, the pitching, and the defense. And when you were fortunate enough to jump out to a big lead, the pitcher's job is to go in there and just throw strikes and go right at them, and that's exactly what they did. And they did a great job tonight, and they never really gave them a chance to fight any, really.
Next, we'll go back to Christopher Stock from Inside the U. Chris?
Jacob, the outfielders you've been working with, Edgardo's obviously been at left field throughout the year, but Gabby's been in there quite a bit, obviously Mike too, but just Gabby and Edgardo, just young guys. What's that like? Kind of they're contributing, and is there advice you've been constantly giving them throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like last year, so my freshman year was the COVID year, and then last year was my first full collegiate season. And I just remind them all the time that when you go through your first college season, you learn a lot. There's a lot that goes on through a season. People get hurt, people fall off, people struggle at times. You're always going to get an opportunity, especially like games like this when there's big lead. There's always going to be opportunities there. And it's just really important for them to always keep a good attitude because, they're freshmen. They've got lots more time to make an impact here. But I think everybody's got a lot of opportunities this year, and I just remind them to keep their head up and, just take advantage and just do what they're supposed to do when they get in the game and just always keep the team first because that's a big part of it. You got to keep the team first if we want to get to where we want to be. Can't be any separation, worrying about anything like that. And fortunately, they're all great guys who just want to help the team and are always working hard and doing what they're supposed to do.
Are there any other questions for Jacob? Jacob, thank you for your time and congrats on a great performance.
So we go wrapped up with Jacob Burke. Looks like we're probably going to get more players. certainly a big performance. I put his stats there on the live chat so you could see just the type of game he had. Came to bat with 7
Ariel,
RBIs.
can you hear me?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I could hear you.
We have freshman infielder Ariel Garcia. If you have a question for Ariel, please use the hand raise function. We'll start with Wyatt Coltman from the Miami Hurricane. Wyatt.
Hey, Ariel, congratulations on the win tonight. 4 RBIs, 12 between you and Jacob Burke, but you really just set a spark for this lineup in this past week. What's been really working for you at the plate to be able to get it done, whether it's at home or on the road?
I just been looking at the ball, letting it come in, staying in my legs, listening to the coaches, and just I'm seeing the ball very good right now.
3 home runs here in this week, the first being at Georgia Tech and now 2 here tonight. What sort of advice and inspiration have you been able to receive from the veterans on this team, Jacob Burke, Maxwell Romero Jr., the guys have led in the lineup right now?
They just been telling me to take advantage of the opportunities I get and just stay positive.
Next, we'll go to Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris.
Hey, Ariel, just curious about your progression as a player throughout the season. Obviously, playing time wasn't there early, and you've gotten in there a little bit more lately. But just what are some things you've been concentrating on, really working on, to get to this performance like you just answered these last couple games? Obviously, big performance for you.
Yeah, I just been being positive. I've been working on my hitting, obviously my defense. I've been just listening to all the coaches and working on everything that I need to work on for my success.
Can you just walk us through the 2 home runs you hit there, kind of what you saw and how it ended up for you?
Yeah, so I saw a breaking ball, and then I was just looking for a fastball because he missed with the breaking ball, and I had it right there, right down the middle.
Just curious with the home runs. Obviously, you hit home runs last year at the high school level. Did you feel like, was there a point either during the season you felt like this could come, that you could, get the ball out of the ballpark at this level?
I had a big year last year. I was just coming here trying to do the best I could do, and it just happened, and I'm very grateful.
Are there any other questions for Ariel? Ariel, thanks for your time and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
So we're wrapping up here. I definitely want to talk about Ariel Garcia, the battle at second base. As soon as these are over with, we're going to get into that. Definitely let me know what you think. We'll get into that. I'm going to ask Gino about it as well.
Carson, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can.
We have Miami starter Carson Palmquist. If you have a question for Carson, please use the hand raise function. We'll start with Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris.
Yeah, Carson, just your thoughts on the offense, kind of what you saw from your guys, and as you're watching it, what would you kind of see up and down the lineup? It's obviously a big performance by them.
Just every hitter attacking, every pitch I've seen the other team throw looked like our hitters were swinging at it and getting a good barrel on the ball. And it's just an awesome night when you can see that happen, and just getting the run support behind you that you want, and just seeing the score keep going up. It was just a sweet feeling.
Next, we'll go to Wyatt. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize. Your thoughts on how you pitched tonight? Again, I know you had the big lead, and that helps a pitcher, but these last few outings for you, obviously putting up good numbers, not walking guys. How'd you feel tonight? How have you been feeling these last few weeks in particular?
I felt great tonight. Felt like I was attacking the zone with all my pitches as much as I could, getting outs and not just trying to do too much and strike everybody out, trying to make it deeper into the ball game with a lower pitch count, just get weak contact and work as many innings as I can for my team.
Next, we'll go to Wyatt Coltman from the Miami Hurricane. Wyatt.
Hey, Carson, congratulations on the win. You and Jake Garland teamed up to retire, I believe, 16 of the final 17 batters in the lineup tonight, a lineup you two had never seen before. How impressed were you by his performance, especially given that he wasn't starting on the mound in a midweek situation, but instead in relief tonight?
I know how dominant Jake is every outing. He's one of our better pitchers on the staff, and he's filled a starting role in the midweeks that's huge to get our wins up and not lose pointless midweek games.
and he's just done an amazing job. And everyone knows in the team how great of a pitcher he is, and he could be starting any weekend game for us or relieving any weekend game for us down the stretch.
We'll go back to Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris?
Carson, I know you put a lot of time in the offseason really building your stamina up, making the transition. I'm curious how you're feeling late in the season now, and maybe some key things for yourself so you're strong, you're continue to be strong down the stretch in these final, hopefully, for yourself, a couple months here.
My body's felt great. I just feel like my body's on cruise control, just going through like the season. Just honestly, I've felt better as the season's gone on, just learning more pitches, what my pitches are doing, how to get more like efficient with my outs. It's been a huge learning experience, but I feel like my body's feeling great and ready to go deep into the postseason.
Are there any other questions for Carson? Carson, thanks for your time and congrats on the win.
Thanks, Gino.
Gino, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Awesome. We have Miami Hurricanes head coach Gino DiMare. Gino, if you can start with an opening statement, and then we'll go into questions.
Well, certainly happy to see us come out and swing the bats. Throughout the lineup, we had some big numbers we put up there, and just overall played a very complete game. Our pitchers, the two guys, threw very, very well. I thought we played very good defense, made an excellent play, kind of a highlight play out there in center field, and just a complete game all around, and just good for us. We needed to get a game where we've gone through a little bit of a rough patch, I should say, and it was good to see the guys play the game the way they did today.
If you have a question for Gino, please use the hand raise function. We'll start with Christopher Stock from InsideTheU.
Yeah, Gino, you talked a lot about the approach you wanted when we talked earlier, just that you wanted to see good approach at the plate, and obviously you guys got results, but I'm curious if you saw that kind of play out up and down the lineup from guys.
I did. Still a few at bats that stick in my mind though that we talked about them, and that's the things we got to stay away from. We get counts in our favor, 3-1. And this only happened a few times, thank goodness, but still we shouldn't be swinging at bad pitches that would have made us walk. We'd be on base, ball 4, don't get an at-bat, instead swinging a poor pitch out of the zone, that's ball 4, make it 3-2, and then the next pitch, put it in play and get out. And now you're 0 for 1, you didn't get on base, and that's what we had been doing a lot of, getting pitches, counts in our favor and swinging at bad pitches, and just swinging at bad pitches in general. And I thought we did overall, you're not going to be perfect all game, but I thought overall we did a pretty good job of laying off some bad pitches out of the zone and just getting good pitches to hit. And when you do that and you're talented and, you got a chance to kind of drive the ball. And we hit a lot of balls hard today, And so I was happy to see that. I thought we were a little bit more, I think, something we stressed, being more quiet in the box, not being so loud. Every once in a while, you can see a guy get a little jumpy and antsy and, body get a little out of control. But for the most part, I thought they did a good job as a group, and that's what we've been trying to harp on.
Next, we'll go to Wyatt Kopelman from the Miami Hurricane. Wyatt?
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Solid start from Carson Palmquist tonight here at home, but you also had Jake Garland in relief. The two, I believe, combined for 16 of the 17 final batters retired. What did you notice out of Garland? What really impressed you with him being in a different situation than a midweek start?
Garland, you're asking? Well, Garland threw like he always does. He just pounds the strike zone. He got a lot of ground ball outs, got some strikeouts, very efficient. I was really happy with Carson and how efficient he was. Whenever you get a big lead and get to score a lot of runs, the best thing you can do as a pitcher is get the hitters back into the box, get them back in the dugout, get them off the field, and get them back at the plate. And both guys did that. They were very efficient. Carson, it's been maybe one of his weaknesses this year is not being as efficient, keeping his pitch count down. That was great to see. And of course, just pounding the strike zone. We didn't walk but one guy, and that was in the last inning. So both guys did an excellent job. But yeah, Jake, you're asking through like he always does. And I just want to see him get more off speed pitches over, especially his breaking ball. I like to see him. We try to throw that a few times there, and just got to get that pitch where he's more comfortable throwing it.
Our next question comes from Christopher Stock at InsideTheU. Chris?
Coach, what'd you think of Burke's big night?
Yeah, man, that was great. You know, he obviously we've been struggling. A number of guys have been struggling throughout this, last 10 games offensively. He was one of them, and it's a guy that we've really been trying to work on, and the coaches, that is, and I got to tell you, I'm so happy to see him have the night he had, because he's a guy that's been huge for us all year, and he's hitting in that 5th spot, and he's such a dynamic player and great athlete and can do so many things. And man, big night, 8 RBIs, my goodness, and a couple doubles, a home run, and in the play in center field. Yeah, I mean, he was no doubt our MVP of the game today.
Also, good to see Dorian get in there. And I'm curious how this plays out at second. How do you envision it? Does Dorian automatically kind of get back in there? Ariel obviously has been hitting the ball, and Henry's giving you something there. How do you manage this moving forward there at that position?
Well, you can't play all 3 there, so we'll see. We'll have to look and see. There's nothing automatic about anything, but Dorian is a guy that was certainly a big part of our success early in the season. He was our 6-hole hitter for a long time there until the end, and we dropped him down a few games there. But just what I'll have to do is, when I go over the lineups, I always meet with the coaches for the offensive part of the lineup. I meet with Lopes and talk to him, and we look at the matchup and see who the pitcher is throwing the next day. We look at our hitters and how they match up against that guy and his pitches and what he does, and our hitters and what their strengths are. And you put the best guys out there, they're going to give you a chance to win. The good thing about our team is we've played a lot of guys this year, and they've all stepped up. They've all had opportunities. Nobody can complain about not getting opportunities this year, because we've played a lot of guys, and they've all done a good job. And I'm going to continue to keep doing that and play the matchups and see, put the best guy out there. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I'm happy to see Dorian back. My goodness, he came back pretty fast, and he looks great. I mean, he looked great in BP the last few days in practice. He's moving around great. I was hoping he'd see a few more pitches, but he's antsy. I know he's ready to go, and he got a pitch to hit, and he did the right thing. He took a swing at it there and just got under a little bit. But yeah, very, very happy. I am. I'm sure everybody in the team is very happy to see him back.
Are there any other questions for Gino? Gino, thanks for your time, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
So that's going to wrap up the interviews. Again, it was great. We got 3 players. Jacob Burke. You can watch this back, and I definitely will chop it up so you can see exactly who's talking and when. But Jacob Burke, Ariel Garcia, 2 big offensive performances, and Carson Palmquist, really good outing out of him. And then Gino DiMare just wrapped up here. Definitely drop in the comments. Let me know what you guys would like to talk about. I think, and this is the reason why I asked Gino about it. I think it's interesting at second base. And I asked it because Dorian Gonzalez made his return tonight. First game since April 6th. Dorian had started all 29 games to start the season before missing 15 with the knee injury. Now he's back, but actually, with Henry Wallen, had a higher OPS on the season than Dorian. Also, Ariel Garcia, what you've seen from him lately, these last 2 games, and I do want to mention on Sunday, his last game, he came off the bench and had a big performance. So his last 2 games, 5 for 8, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. He was a guy I personally was intrigued by last year at the high school level. He had 10 homers at Columbus. He was a guy that showed good power at the high school level, and Dorian did as well. I just think it's interesting, and it sounds like, it'll be interesting to see what Coach does after this, with that position. But drop in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking at second base. It's certainly a big one for Miami at that position to decide. But like Coach mentioned, Dorian was a guy that was playing, batting around 6th in the lineup for quite a while. So they definitely feel confident in him. He was a guy that was up over 340 before he went on this 2 for 30 slump right before his injury. So it'll be interesting to see how Dorian does. I will say this, when I talked to Coach at practice this week, I was there when Dorian was out there doing batting practice, and I was like, it seemed like he was looking good, and that's what Coach was saying. He said, and you could see this if you saw this on the website, it was a VIP article that I posted a couple days ago, so you can always get this information ahead of time. But what I'll say is, and the complete quote from what Coach is in there, as well as what he did, but he said, Dorian's bat looked fresh, and I thought that was good. I thought it was interesting, and Coach mentioned his bat that he gets in there. They're in the 7th inning, actually the 8th inning. He sees the first pitch and he flies out. He swings and flies out to left field there. I thought he would take some pitches, but Coach mentioned, he saw a pitch he could hit. So it'll be interesting. It's just one of these storylines down the stretch that Coach will certainly look to navigate there. Okay, so here we go. Just shout out to everybody who's in here. Kevin, shout out to you. I saw Enzo just popped on here about Rosario and Burke at cleanup. Yeah, we can get into that. And Coach had some comments about Rosario that I posted on the article, and Brandon was in here earlier. And shout out to everybody who's in here now and also watching it later on. Okay, just real quick about Rosario. I asked Coach, obviously you're confident in him, but you keep throwing him out there. And this, obviously, Rosario didn't pitch tonight. He's still going to be the Sunday starter. Why do you have confidence in him? Why do you keep putting him out there, essentially? And he basically just said, again, the full quote is on an article, and I could post it on the site here, on the channel below, once this is over. But basically, he just feels confident in his talent. He believes, one thing he said was, in addition to believing his talent, and this was a guy that was a top 25 recruit in the 2020 class. So a lot of people were very interested in Rosario, thought highly of him. It has not quite clicked. Coach says when it clicks, it's going to be a good thing. And he said his 2 best performances of the year were against Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech, who Coach mentioned is the best 2 offensive lineups that Miami's seen. So he's feeling positive about him. He's hoping he turns the corner, but certainly he's given him a lot of opportunities. Certainly, though, the numbers are not good. They're not favorable. He is coming off a good outing last game. We'll see how he does on Sunday. Okay, Kevin, question. They scored 22 tonight. How does the coach try to prevent the crash that occur afterwards? They might only barely win or even lose tomorrow. I think that they're looking for some momentum. I think this is a team that lost 4 games. They weren't swinging the bats real well. Remember, this was a team that won 14 in a row before this rough stretch, these last 10 games or so. So I think that they've done a good job of building momentum and just kind of going out and to the next day. And I think that this is a team that doesn't put up a lot of runs. I think they were 7th going into tonight. We will get into the ACC, but they were 7th in the ACC in runs per game in conference play. So this is not a team that just automatically scores a bunch of runs all the time. I think that they know what they are. I don't think they will get ahead of themselves because they're not that type of team. Now, will they score less than 22 or have a 4-run game or something like that? That's certainly possible because this just isn't a high-powered offense, what we've seen up until this point. Obviously, you're looking to build on this, and maybe guys will start really putting it together, having really good stretches like we're seeing from Max Romero. Again, 8-game hitting streak. Those type of performances were not happening earlier in the year. So maybe he's going to start really hitting at a high level. As far as Burke at the cleanup, Coach mentioned the 5 spot. I think if you're doing the Burke at cleanup thing, I'm okay with the Morales and Romero. I understand the right-left thing, although I think too much is made of that. I think the big thing is just to watch Edgardo Villegas there in the 2 spot, because I think the 2 spot in the lineup is so key nowadays. He just tends to have these moments where he gets really cold, where he has these tough performances. So tonight he was a guy that he walked a couple times, but he went 0 for 3. Let's get into the ACC standings a little bit. Let's look at the scoreboard. Miami obviously out of conference here. They have a 2-game lead over Virginia Tech and a 3-game over Virginia. Neither of those teams are playing conference games this weekend. There's not very many conference games. These were the games today, as you can see on the scores here. But a couple of them dealt with weather. The Duke Pitt game, they didn't play today because of weather. Same way with Louisville and Wake Forest. So they're going to play doubleheader tomorrow. The Duke Pitt game, last time I checked, had not been scheduled a doubleheader. If they're going to do that Saturday or Sunday or what they're going to do there, but they're going to play game 1 on Saturday. And then the North Carolina NC State game, if that is that's been stuck in the 5th inning, so I wonder if they've had weather as well. Bringing that up. The big news, so Clemson wins 9-3. That doesn't pertain to Miami too much, but the Boston College Florida State game, Boston College gets that 3-2 win. Boston College is bottom of the ACC, having a really rough year. They've got to be in the top 12, which means the bottom 2 teams in the ACC do not make the ACC tournament. And Boston College is not in a position at this point, but they beat Florida State. Florida State, 23 in the country right now. That's who Miami plays next weekend. Certainly a lot to talk about with that. Real quick, I want to get to this personal story with this game. So North Dakota's, let's just get into it. I just want to share this for people that are interested, and I'll get back into the Miami game and everything, but I just want to share this story. North Dakota State's head coach is Tyler Oakes. Tyler Oakes is the son of Todd Oakes. When I was a student at the University of Minnesota, I worked for the baseball team for Coach Oakes, who was the pitching coach. I ran a stats program called InsideTheU. I worked with the pitchers. I provided a lot of insight and analytics and did all that long before it was really that popular. InsideTheU is still around. It's still a company doing their thing. But at that point, it was kind of a early on stages from them. But I did a lot of pitching and data entry and recording and watching games and doing all that. And I worked with Coach Oakes. And that team, you know, the reason why I want to bring this up, Coach Oakes passed away with leukemia a few years ago. You guys didn't check out his story. He's very inspirational to a lot of people. And all those players loved him, a longtime coach and all that. And for me personally, I always appreciated him for the opportunity I got as a student, as someone that did not know what I wanted to do moving forward. I had no idea about journalism or getting involved in sports. And I always felt like that was a starting point for me in, you know, developing and being, you know, having a career in journalism and working with the team and the whole thing. So it's different than what I'm doing now. But I felt like that moment and that opportunity when I was young really made a difference in my life. And I wanted to pass that message on to Tyler Oakes, who's Todd's son. And I was able to reach out to him and deliver that message to him. I didn't know Tyler at the time, other than I knew he was younger and Todd had kids and whatnot. But anyways, I just wanted to pass that on. So I was able to share a little bit of a personal story with Coach there before the game. So I just want to share that. It's crazy, small world on how things work in sports or baseball or whatever it might be. And yeah, the journey, it's crazy how things have gone since then. But I certainly always appreciate that time. So I just want to share that really quick. Okay, let's get into a few more things that I want to mention about the game here. We talked about second base. We talked about the pitchers, the starting rotation. So Miami's going to start Carson Ligon tomorrow night, Saturday. So Saturday's game's at 6 o'clock. So definitely pay attention to that. Carson's 5-3 on the year, 3.79 ERA, looking to have a strong performance like Carson Palmquist did tonight as he improved to 7-3. Miami gets to Max Lovin early on. Lovin drops to 6-4. He was a Summit League pitcher of the week, so he was been pitching well. Miami puts up 6 runs in the first inning. They get 5 in the second and chase him there as he gives up 11 runs, 1 1/3 innings, drops to 6-4. So Miami got to him. Lefty, that's always good. Miami's got some lefties in their lineup, so the fact that they were able to do that, that was good. I always think that's a good thing for Miami against lefties, even if they have righties in the lineup, just because you don't always see lefties. So that was a good sign. Kind of final few thoughts on this one. I do want to mention Miami picked up a commitment in the next recruiting class, his 2022 recruiting class. His name is Brian Walters. He's a right-handed pitcher at Eastern Florida State College. He is the younger brother of Andrew Walters, who also went to Eastern Florida State College. So Brian went 3-3 this year, 3.99 ERA in 14 appearances, made 11 starts. He had more strikeouts than walks. So Miami picks up a right-hander in their commitment in their class, and you can see that information, their complete class. I have that on the website as well, but I just wanted to make sure I shed that news there. So yeah, we'll wrap this up. Appreciate everybody for being here. Kevin, I always appreciate your support. Thanks for dropping by about a tornado. That's awful. Hopefully everybody's okay. So I will wrap this up. Okay. Any other final I almost forgot. I did this last time. Let's play the highlights from the game here so you can see all the hits and runs.
And there it is. He rips that one into left field for a base hit. Here's Kafis. He wants to score. Gino DiMare waves him home. Play at third base. He is safe at third as Kafis comes across with Miami's first run of the night.
He had those 3 long balls and
lines that one off the glove of the second baseman, Sackett. 1 run is in, and Morales will hold on at third.
no outs, and double play would have changed that right away.
This one hit into left field and hit well. It's going to be off the wall. 1 run in. Here's Romero to third. He's going to be there, and into second with a stand-up double is Burke. A ringing double to left field. First ball swinging, lines this into right field for a base hit. 1 run in. That's Romero. Here comes Burke around third. He's going to score. The play is at third, and the throw is too late. Levinson is safe at third. Gutierrez at first. Kafis rips this one into right field for a base hit by Anderson at first. Gutierrez on his way to third. Miami has runners at first and third, and the hit parade continues. Quist trying to finish him off with a 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called right down the middle. A strikeout for the final out of a 1-2-3 second. Burke, first ball swinging, and drills this one high and deep to left field, and that one is long gone. Home run for Jacob Burke. It's a 3-run home run.
As many players knocking in runs as the Hurricanes have.
This one to the alley in right center field, and Patelli will touch them all.
For Morales, where maybe normally
Garcia hits this one toward the scoreboard. Home run, Miami. It's the 3rd of the inning.
All right, I'll put in my headset.
That's ninth. Hitting .351 in his 37th game, his 35th start. Goes down swinging.
For time.
3-2 pitch. Lined into center field for a base hit. Romero scores. Gino DiMare waves Levinson. Long strides to the plate. He scores standing up. Burke drills this one to deep left field. He has his 2nd home run of the night. That one is off the light tower in left field. His 2nd 3-run homer of the night. Jacob Burke, the headline maker tonight. His fingerprints are all over this game. His 2nd home run of the night.
Soon to call that one?
I don't think so. High fly ball, deep left field, and that one is long gone. Another home run for Miami.
So that a lot of highlights there. Let's wrap this thing up. Miami improves to 33-12 with a 22-0 win over North Dakota State, who falls to 25-14. Miami 22 runs on 21 hits, 1 error, 10 left on base. North Dakota State no runs, 3 hits, 3 errors, 4 left on base. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you have a